here, and I'm coming on for our question and answer session as part of our baby steps to big goals party this weekend. So I'm super pumped because we've had 5 classes already yesterday and today. They were all free for you guys to try. We had a great workshop this morning by Ben. If you have not listened to it, please take a listen because it was so powerful. We have more still to come, another workshop with Christina. We have more classes. We have a kids class that my kids are instructing. We have Pilates Infusion with the fabulous Robin. We have Butts and Guts with Christina still. Oh, so much still to come. And it's only Saturday. We still have tomorrow. So question and answer session, really ask me anything. This is where it comes to your own particular journey. Now, we talk a lot about what we see with our clients, what we see with our members, but sometimes people just sit there and they're like, well, that's not really my problem, or that's not really my concern, or that's not what I have going on. So we open the floor to you to ask us anything. Good morning, Debbie. Hi, Rosie. Hi, Robin. Good morning, Shannon. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Most of you are morning still, I think. So this is where it comes time for you to think, okay, I'm listening to some of the information they're giving us. I'm looking at all the great stuff. I'm maybe checking out a class, maybe not, depending on where I am. But where and how does it fit into my world? And I say this from your perspective because without knowing exactly what your world looks like, there's only so much that we can do. We work with clients one-on-one, personalize their programs, personalize their workouts, their nutrition, of course. We work in group membership environments like our Healthy Living program where we provide information and you take and leave what you need. So we do offer lots of different solutions when it comes to support. But I have a lot of people still turn around to me and say, and this is one of the questions I got privately, is I've tried everything. How do I know that this is not just another thing? And I think this is a really valid question because living and breathing the health and fitness world for the last 20 years, I hate this time of year because everything comes out, right? Every new diet pill, every new workout, every new, blah, blah, blah. And then you're bombarded by all of these amazing results and do it for 12 minutes and you'll get skinny and do it all these great things. And so of course, as the consumer and as a member of our world, you're confused, right? You have people throwing keto at you. You have people throwing cardio at you. You have people throwing running at you. You have people throwing coming into our classes, right? And all of a sudden you're sitting there going, what? I've tried so many things. What's going to make this any different? And so here's the thing I want you to come back to always. Of course, we would love for you to join our programs. We'd love for you to come try a class. We'd love for you to be a part of our community because we know hands down it's amazing. But it has to be the right fit for you. And that is truly the most important thing to Christina and I, right? We don't want somebody here in our community doing our things if it's not the right fit for them. And that is, our abundance mentality. We know that there is something out there for you and we want you to find that something even if it's not us, okay? So that's the first thing I want you to know, that no matter what, if this is not your thing, that's okay. Finding your thing is all we want to do for you, okay? Secondly, I always want you to go back to your why. Why did you join Recipes for Weight Loss Success Group or Bariatrics Beyond the Honeymoon or come over and even get attached to Sassy Evolution page? Why did you do that in the first place? Was it because the community felt pretty cool? Was it that, Christina and I are hilarious? Yeah. Right? What was it in the first place? Because something drew you here. And if it was like, well, my friend just invited me to the group and I'm not really sure, cool, take a look around. Maybe it's for you, maybe it's not. And this is where it comes down to, is that all the things that you're doing has to come back to your goals, right? So someone said to me this morning, exercise is not really my focus right now. I'm really trying to focus on the nutrition side of things. Should I come to the party?
My earphones are not loving me this morning. Can you guys hear me now? Can someone give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Or something that says yay, no, nay, possibly. I'm just gonna wait for a second. We lost you. Don't lose me, Alyssa. All right, let me see if anybody. See, all these. See what happens when I go. Oh, high five. Yeah. See, when I go on a rant, I don't even read some of my messages that just came through that says you lost your sound. Okay, let's try this again. I'm sure it was a really good rant that you guys missed out on. And of course, I'm never, ever, ever going to be able to come back to that. All right, let's see. Better. Yes, okay. All right. Debbie, I did see your question. I will come back to that in just a second. Okay, so when it comes down to finding what works for you, as I said, that noise, that kind of everything is going on, whether it's you want to read podcasts, whether you want to watch videos, whether you want to read posts. They were saying trends of 2020 is longer posts in Facebook and Instagram, and I'm like, no, I don't have time to read the shorter posts. Lost you at the nutrition. Working on what works for you. Okay. I'm sure you missed some of the amazing things I just said, but Debbie, so what are some of the things that you can do for your lower back, to strengthen your lower back without getting on the floor? Great question. Okay, so first and foremost, one of the best things that you can do for any type of postural, so that means standing, okay, shoulders coming bent down like this, my back hurts, lower back hurts, is what we call the vacuum twist. And luckily I took my earphones off because now I can demonstrate. Okay, so with the vacuum twist, what you're going to do is you're going to come into a nice strong position. Your shoulders are back and relaxed. Your core is on. You're going to take a deep inhale, okay? So, and then you're going to blow all the air out. Then, while you're still holding your breath, you're going to take that belly button and try to pull it up into your rib cage. Okay, so this is here, pull it up into the rib cage. So inhale, exhale, hold, and while you're holding your breath, you're going to twist. Now, no twisting here, okay? Only here, twist. This is actually working what we call your rectus abdominis and your transverse abdominis, which is the deep core muscles of your stomach. Well, how does that strengthen your back? What it does is it actually strengthens your entire core, and while you strengthen that core, that really does help your back. That's definitely step one. Debbie, you could do the vacuum twist about 3 times, so hold it until you can't hold your breath any longer and then just let it out, about 3 times, and then do that 3 times throughout the day, kind of in the shower, before you wake up, that kind of thing. Before you wake up, no, that won't work. So that you are getting that twist in there. It's a postural exercise, which means you can do it multiple times a day, every day of the week if you wanted to. One of my clients, Michelle, she has been doing these vacuum twists because her core has been really weak in the last little while, and it has made such a huge difference. I was just reading Alyssa's comment. I know I have no shoes on. I just took them off because we finished cardio strong this morning. But it's not to work out in. No. I have got to wear shoes. Funny enough, that is a comment that somebody made this morning about shoes, so I'm going to quickly talk about that. It was on my notes anyways. Is that she sees people wear shoes, she sees people doesn't wear shoes. So Ben and I, those of you who have not yet met my husband Ben, who teaches with us, he was doing the workshop earlier, he never wears shoes. Christina never wears shoes. I always wear shoes. So is there a right and wrong way? The answer is yes and no, like everything. For me, I actually have a foot injury that I've had for years. I wear an orthotic in my shoe. I actually have to have a shoe that is very, very strong, okay? So you can't actually, right? That's the difference between my shoes. So if I don't wear my shoes during my workout, I'm in a situation where I can hurt my foot and do more damage. If you are okay without wearing shoes, naturally our bodies are good without shoes because that's how we take our body from top to bottom, really focusing on the sole of our foot all the way to the top of our head. Okay, you've heard of barefoot runners. Yoga obviously doesn't need shoes. Taekwondo, my daughter does Taekwondo. They don't wear shoes. Kickboxers, often don't wear shoes. And so again, it's not what's right versus wrong. It's only what's right versus wrong with your own body. If you feel comfortable and if you feel you can get your grip and your solid plantation of that foot without shoes on, go crazy. Go without shoes if that's more comfortable. I have members who have turned around and said they will never work out with shoes on. Awesome. But then I have members who say my knees are really sore when we're doing certain things. we have to talk a little bit about where they're planting their feet. Are they getting a good grip with those shoes? Because unfortunately, the things that shoes do for us is they give us that stability that we might not have on our own. So that's the big thing, right, Tara? I know you don't wear shoes. A lot of people don't wear shoes, but as I said, a lot of people do as well. So just again, ask yourself, how does my body feel when I don't have shoes on? Okay, so if I wear slippers, make myself feel old. I wear slippers in the house as well because I need something on the bottoms of my feet. I can only wear my Birkenstocks or my running shoes with my orthotics because I need something on the bottom of my feet, or that pain that I have radiates through my foot, into my toe, up to my leg, into my glutes, all the way to the top. So I have to wear them, but as I said, if you're okay without wearing them, then there's no need, you don't have to. Workout clothes, what should we wear? Well, Christina, we definitely want to wear clothes. That's super important. One of the things that I say about workout clothes all the time is you just have to be comfortable in them. The nice thing about our classes in the online live and interactive group classes is that we're at home and nobody knows. Nobody's looking at you, nobody's wondering why you're wearing your pajamas, why you haven't brushed your teeth, or your hair is just like thrown back like this. That's the beauty of doing it from home. But the big thing is just being comfortable, okay? So if your pajama pants are allowing you to make some movements and you're comfortable, great. I do recommend, whether you have big or small, ladies, boobs, a sports bra of some description, because even with the smallest boobs, that's me, I need to have some support so they're not bouncing, because not only will the actual boobs themselves hurt, but the muscles that hold those, your pectorals, which are your chest muscles, they just need to have a little bit of hold in. If you have very large breasts, there are very good places to get some good quality sports bras. I'm not gonna lie, getting on and off your sports bra, especially when you're sweaty, is almost like a workout in itself, but definitely find something that's gonna hold those boobs down for those ladies, because there's nothing worse than having your chest sore after a workout when we didn't do any chest exercises because they have been bumping around all over the place. And it's really hard on the back as well. And so again, going back to not just, we don't necessarily want to have boobs flying all over our faces, we also don't want to risk having that soreness in our back because the heaviness of the boobs that are coming down. So definitely do that. Obviously running shoes we just spoke about. I've had people who have literally run in from work to jump into one of our classes and they're still wearing their work clothes. You know what? It's not the end of the world. Obviously they might get a little sweaty and stinky, you have to wash them, but as long as you can move, that's the most important thing. It takes too much time to put shoes on. Oh my gosh, as if, again, no, I always joke about this, whatever works for you, right? If it's okay to not wear your shoes, then awesome. If it's not okay, then like me, I have to wear shoes. There are days where I try to do a yoga or something with, one of my clients who has an injury, and I take my shoes off and I regret it for the next day or two, because even though it's better to, hold onto the mat with your toes versus your shoe, it definitely is more challenging that way. So definitely do that. You gotta support those boobs, Terry. That's it. We want to make sure those boobs are supported for everybody's sake, mostly yours. Another question I got, was about their knees. They didn't want to come to a class this weekend because they were concerned they might hurt their knees. Now, of course, in this case, I actually spoke to the member a little bit further about what was going on with their knees, that kind of stuff. It's really important. So this, again, is kind of a blanket answer. So if you do have any concerns about your knees, or you have any injuries, reach out to me and I'll talk to you specifically. But the good thing about knees, or any injury for that matter, or limitation, is that we provide modifications within our environment, within our online live and interactive group classes. We have members who walk with canes. We have members who can't get down to the floor. We have members who, can't do squats and lunges because of their knees. And there's lots of things that can be done instead of, that will still allow you to strengthen the areas around your knees so that you are able to get stronger. The reality is, I'm what we classify as a functional trainer. I have been that way for the last 15 years. What that means is I want to support and help you to do everyday activities. Okay, yes, do I want to help you get a six-pack if that's your goal? For sure. Do I want you to look fantastic in a bikini if that's your goal? Amazing. But honestly, the most important thing is not getting injured doing everyday activities. Christina last summer, the summer before, hurt her knee by bending down to put on her son's sock. We have another member who, walked down the stairs. These are functional movements that our body should be able to do, but because we are hard on our bodies, we tend to often mistreat them, whether that was the extra weight that we carried, whether that was just, doing things we probably shouldn't have when we were younger with our bodies. We want to get stronger. So in this person's case, when I talked to her about her knees, she does have some arthritis in her knees, which means that's not necessarily something that I'm going to be able to poof, magically disappear. However, strengthening the muscles in and around the knees is definitely something that we do. And because all of our instructors are certified, we are available to give modifications and chat to you about what you should and shouldn't do. So if you have those questions or concerns, reach out to one of us. Reach out to myself, to Ben, to Christina, to Nadine, to Michelle, to Robin. Reach out to some of the members who have had issues, as I said, that come anyways. I mean, Debbie comes to our classes. She's one of the teams in our top 3 for our fundamentals challenge, and she can't get down onto the floor. And she does do modifications because of her back and her knees. And you know what? The best part about that is that she still keeps coming and she's getting stronger every single day. Does the thickness of the mat make a difference? You know what, Alyssa, not really. I mean, again, when it comes down to it, the thicker the mat, the more expensive it's going to be. But what I find is even if it's more expensive, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to stay together. We were talking about this the other day when we were doing, I think we were doing plank jacks in one of our classes, and the mat got torn up by her shoes. So just because it's a more expensive mat doesn't mean it's not going to get torn as well. But again, for me, my mat is really thin. I would prefer a thicker mat just because then I can support my feet a little bit more. But honestly, as long as it's got that no slip, kind of don't fall over, if you're doing any type of movement on the floor, that is the most important thing. If you talk to a yogi, they might tell you a little bit more about yoga mats and why you need to spend the hundreds of dollars on them. For me, I'm like dollar store mat, towel, a blanket. I'm a huge believer in using what you have, not necessarily going out and buying something new. Let's see, that's why, right, Alyssa comes to her personal training sessions with me online in the clothes she literally wore to work, which is often very comfy clothes, which is good. Let's see if I'm missing anything here. Support boobs, yep, very important. Yes, Debbie's amazing. Again, so this is the thing, and this is probably one of the most common questions we get about the exercise portion of it is, can I do it? And honestly, for the most part, there are very few people that I turn around and say, you know what, if anything, I'd rather work with you one-on-one privately, just based on whatever's going on with their body. But for the most part, because we do have the modifications, because we do keep the classes nice and small, we are available to turn around and be like, oh, okay. So like this weekend, for example, one of our members has hurt her knee, and she reached out to me earlier, and she's like, I want to come to the class, but I hurt my knee. These are the things I don't want to be doing. Okay, here's some suggestions. That's one option. The other option is in the middle of class, somebody's doing something like, Lindsay, this is hurting my knee, what can I do instead? And that's kind of the personal, small, safe feel that we have in these classes that makes it really, really easy. What if my body hurts from yesterday? Should I take today off? Christina, absolutely not. No, here is the thing with this, guys. Honestly, motion is lotion. I curse myself regularly when I'm sore as heck and I hear my own voice echoing in my ear. I don't love moving when I'm sore, I get that. But what ends up happening is the more you move, the more your body actually gets lubricated with its natural lubricant, which makes it less likely to be sore beyond. So if you do a really good workout and then you sit in the car or you sit at work all day long the next day, you're probably more likely going to be sore than if you were to go for a walk or swim and come to another class. There was kind of quadrants of soreness, right? I always say to people, if you're like a 10 out of 10 on like, I can't move, I'm so sore. First of all, chances are you might want to readjust what you're doing with your workout because we don't want to be that sore. But if you're kind of more in that kind of 5 to 8 range, which is definitely kind of where I live my life, especially right now, I'm like, ooh, tender sore. Motion really is lotion, and it does help. I woke up this morning, I had one of those moments where you kind of like roll to go out of bed and everything was just like, oh God. But then I taught Cardio Strong this morning, which is cardio and strength, and I feel better. So that's kind of the nice thing about motion is lotion. And even though, as I said, I curse myself when I hear myself say it, when I don't want to move, it really does help. Let's see, several people nervous about coming because they're on camera. Yes, Tara, that's a really good one. I talked about that one a little bit the other day. Honestly, this is the interesting part, which I think people forget. is nobody's watching. I've even tested the theory and been like, did you guys see? And I've asked them, or I say, who do you look at, or on your iPad or your computer or your computer screen on your TV, what do you look at? And everybody always says they look at the instructor. For the most part, it is all about getting the work done. Even me, we did instructor choice yesterday, which meant that, or the mashup by the instructor, or even when Christina and I were doing instructor. When I was working, I was hardly even like paying attention to anything because I was working at my ability, which was, I was working really hard. So I wasn't looking at the camera, I wasn't looking at anything, I was just working, and that's what happens with most of our members. Nobody's checking to see if you have, snot up your nose. Nobody's checking to see what you're wearing. Again, the very beautiful benefit of being here in our environment, because it is literally a no judgment zone. I'm not kidding you. If my hair was an absolute mess, my teeth very rarely don't go brush before I teach at 5:30 in the morning. It doesn't matter. We are here to work. We're not here to judge. So that's a really good one, Tara. And again, I think the only way for somebody to really understand that is to try a class. Because when you realize that you're not watching everybody else because you're too busy trying to figure out what you're doing yourself, you're going to notice pretty quickly that nobody is watching you as well. Karen, let's discuss supporting boobs for a minute. Yes, let's discuss boobs. When you mix up your workouts and wear the highest support bra and still need support, do you suggest doubling that? Bras are so expensive. Very good question. Okay. So bras definitely are expensive, and it's really hard, especially if you do a lot of working out. You don't want to be having to wash every single day, that kind of thing. So here's the biggest thing that I recommend. I actually, rather than doubling up on a sports bra, recommend spending the money and getting the good sports bra. Because if you just take your sports bra out and hang it and let it air dry or throw it in the dryer or whatever, you're still going to be okay the next day. And the nice thing about what we do is it's not smell-o-vision, nobody's going to smell you but you. But the doubling up of the sports bra only works until you have to get them off, because oh my gosh, 2 sports bras soaking wet, never fun. But yes, when you're mixing up your workouts, if you're going to a strength class and there's no cardio involved, wearing a cheaper, not as supportive bra is fine. But when you're doing a cardio class, or you're doing a class where you are moving around, jumping jacks, burpees, whatever, and you don't want to have your boobs bouncing in your face, you definitely want to have a good quality bra. So again, my thoughts are get one good quality bra. I know they're expensive, but get one good quality bra and only use it during when you have to, air dry it, whatever. And then you can use some of the cheaper ones, right, that just hold in place versus give that support. Now, I am not really one to talk about support because I definitely don't have big boobs bouncing all over the place. I always said I would never run if I had boobs bouncing, and that is true, but I do know there's a lot of people that struggle with the bra, finding a good quality one. I know some people have suggestions. Some people have said, oh, I found this one to be really good, I found that one to be really good. So yeah, let us know, guys. If you found a good bra, put it down here in the comments. Is there a good brace for your ankle, but that's thin that you don't know is on without helping you stabilize it? Yeah, so Ruth, with ankles or knees or shoulders or any of those things, you can find those braces pretty much in almost any Walmart. I'm assuming in like a Target pharmacy. I know we have them here in Mexico in like a very specific, I don't know what it's called, rehabilitation center. So finding something like that, you are gonna pay for more comfort and thinner. That's just the way it is. So you can get a cheaper one that's thicker, that's still gonna do the support that you need, but it's thicker and a little bit more uncomfortable. Where if you want something thin that's gonna brace you, give you that support, you probably are gonna pay a little bit more. Yes, I did talk about it in a live. We talked a lot about bras and boobs. Right, the only time you see somebody is when you head to, right. So mute button, that's a good question, good comment. So we have people that are on the screen, and depends on what you're watching, doing your class on. If you're doing it on a tablet or a telephone, you can actually pin the instructor to the top, so it doesn't matter if there's any background noise, for example, a kid, a dog, telephone ringing, whatever, then the instructor is always at the top. If you are on a laptop or a computer, you can definitely keep yourself in what they call speaker mode, which means you're only seeing the instructor. So that really does help. And it makes a huge difference if you only want to see what's going on with the instructor. And to be fair, the instructor is the important one of the class in itself, because you need to see what's coming up next. You need to see what the move looks like. I talked about safety. We show you the right ways, the wrong ways. So it's important to do that. Right, so Ruth flips it so that this instructor is only on TV. Speaker view versus I don't know what the other one's called. But yeah, that's really, really important too. So definitely ways to get around the shyness of the camera, because most of our members specifically do not even look at the other members. Now, you know, we have some fun, I won't lie. I mean, that's the whole point of these classes, is at the beginning when we're doing our kind of warm up, and at the end when we're doing our cool down, you know, we chat a little bit, we have some banter, and that's the beauty of the community. Those of you guys who are watching that might not be part of our community, you can see the people that are. They're the ones who are popping in, they're talking, they know each other. In our interview yesterday with Debbie and Carol, who were one of our top 3 finalists in our challenge, you know, they were talking about the friendship that they made, and that's the one thing that we can't ever explain. You know, I look at some of these guys that I see coming up. I'm here with Linda and Angie and Christine and stuff, and like the friendships that have developed out of this community, out of these online classes, you know, they're just solidified by coming to one of our live events, is just beyond amazing, and I can't even explain it, but it is one of those things that if you do struggle with support, and you do struggle with somebody understanding exactly how you feel, come and join, because that's what this community is all about. You know when it's a bad day, you know when it's a good day, you know what's going on, you know you have somebody who's always going to be in your corner. It doesn't matter if, you know, Angie's having a shitty day herself, you know she's going to be there for you if you need her. You know, Ruth, the same thing, Alyssa, like the community itself is phenomenal and amazing, and as I said, we're very big on judgment free, which is why you can come to pajamas you can come to class in your pajamas, which is amazing. All right, guys, I definitely talked a little bit longer than I planned to, but some great questions. Again, keep them coming. Christina is doing a question and answer session tomorrow, again, for our Sunday schedule. So if you have some specific ones, send them to myself or Christina, or if you're watching this on replay, go #replay and send us a question, and of course we'll answer it at all times. We have more classes, guys, more excitement going on. Christina's Butts and Guts class is coming. We have an amazing workshop with Christina a little bit later, talking about simplifying your everyday meal planning, which I think is huge. Kids class is coming with my daughters. They're going to be running it with my assistant. And then we have the Pilates still to come today. So lots of stuff. We are going to be doing a wrap up. I think it's 2:15 Central, which is 3:15 Eastern, 1:15 Mountain, somewhere in there. And we're going to announce some of the prizes. We have some really fun kind of guessing game going on right now on this page. So go and take a guess, because everybody who guesses correctly gets put into a draw to win. Anybody who comes to a live class will be put into a draw to win. So lots of fun still to have. Please, please, please join and ask any questions you might have. Otherwise, have a fantastic, what do you think holds people back from getting involved even when they know they need help? Well, Benjamin Hack, very good question. I think a lot of people are just really scared. You know, as Tara said about the camera, I think people are very worried about not doing it. And as I opened up and got into my big rant that some of you guys missed anyways because my volume wasn't working, is that fear of that failure, right? We've tried and tried and tried. I talked to a lot of our members, and on average, they've tried between 5 and 9 things that, you know, have not worked in their journey. And this was before and after surgery. So these are the things that we are constantly hit with, that we're like, oh, well, I've tried that, or I paid money for that and I didn't do it, or I tried that and it didn't work. And of course, interesting enough, going into Ben's workshop earlier today, is that we often tend to just not give it enough time. But time is that one thing that we are not very good at. We live in this microwave world where we want it done in 45 seconds. We don't want to wait. And I'm totally that, right? Like my air fryer is like 8 minutes instead of 35 in my oven. I'm like, yeah, let's save some time. But when it comes down to your lifestyle changes that you're trying to make on a daily basis, it really is finding something that really gets you excited. And again, if you're talking to some of the members in these groups of ours, you know that, you know, they may not have been really excited at the beginning, and some of them, you know, still aren't jumping for joy to come, but they are consistently coming. They're showing up, they're getting into the groups, they're talking, they're asking questions, they're acknowledging some of the crap that they've done, right? And that's the hard part. Human nature, it's really hard to turn around and put your hand up and be like, yeah, I'm responsible for that, right? It's not, oh, my teacher, it's not my, you know, girlfriend, boyfriend, it's not my parents' fault, it's not, you know, I'm responsible for that. So I do think it's really hard. Yeah, I've heard that Ben doesn't give water breaks. Water's for wussies, right? But no, honestly, guys, it's one of those things where you sit on the fence for a long time, and some of these people, I mean, I know watching did, and they want to do their research, and I get that. They want to see if we're real people. They want to see if we actually care versus just take your money. I've worked and lived in the fitness industry for, as I said, 20 years, and I can tell you that there are many people out there that absolutely want to take your money and don't care about you at all. You are not going to find that here. Yes, we are a business. Yes, we run a business. Yes, Christina and I put our blood, sweat, and tears into this business, and you should be able to get that from us when we talk. We're very passionate about it, but ultimately it comes down to you and your successes. Nothing gets us more excited about somebody having one of those aha moments, like, holy crap, I actually did that, or I cannot believe I balanced my macros, or I've been consistent for the last 30 days. We had one of our members that her goal for the challenge was to post in MyFitnessPal for 90 days, and she got her little congratulations stamp, badge, whatever it is, and she was just super excited about it. That is what it's all about. So if you're still sitting on the sidelines and you're still not sure, ask yourself why, right? Is it because you're afraid we're not real? Is it because you think that we won't be able to help? Is it because you're not ready? And these are questions that you have to ask yourself, and only you can know the answer to that. But I promise you that if you do jump in and you do get involved and you do allow us to be a part of your community, you will definitely see some major changes. And again, we don't do the work for you. You still have to work, which is the hard part, but we're here to support, we're here to motivate, and we're definitely here to cheer you on all the way through. So guys, have a fantastic Saturday. If you're still up for some more classes, we'll see you soon. Don't forget that the workshop with Christina is gonna be awesome about how to plan meal prepping for everyday, simplifying meal prepping for everyday life. And yeah, let us know if you have any more questions. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.